Happy Thursday, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me live. I am starting a little bit early today because I am feeling under the weather. So instead of me canceling my live or what's that word? Oh my gosh, I can't even think right now. Rescheduling it, I decided to come a little bit early. So thank you so much for joining me live today. Now, I just want to give my input on Brooklyn Beckham and this whole drama thing with his parents, not talking to his parents, basically disowning his parents, and the 6-page letter that he posted on Instagram or TikTok. And I'm thinking to myself, did his parents abuse him? Was he abused as a child? No. Okay. So what's the problem? Okay, you're having an issue with your parents because something happened 4 years ago in regards to your wife's wedding dress. That's why you're not talking to your parents. That's why you're disowning them. Like, the world is already effed up as it is. The world is already hard. People are having problems. People are dying. People are having cancer. Okay, and you stop talking to your parents because a wedding dress, because your mom was just breaking it down on a dance floor on your wedding day. Like, get serious, my guy. Get serious. This is just crazy. And the fact of the matter is that you were born with privilege, okay? Yeah, you may not ask to have this privilege, but you were born with it, okay? You were born with a silver spoon in your mouth. And for you to call out your parents like that, it's just embarrassing. Like, why you could have done it privately, but instead you did it publicly, you know? And, it's just crazy that, he's playing the victim. This reminds me of Prince Harry with his parents, not his parents, his father and his brother and his sister-in-law, Kate. And I feel like Harry was playing the victim. Like, poor me, wrote a book about, his family and stuff like that, just out in their family. And I feel like, in my opinion, when things happen with family members, it should be kept privately. It should not be for the public. You know what I mean? And whatever situation that you're going through, you can deal with. I don't think everyone needs to know about your private affairs and make it public like that. And in my opinion, I think it's just wrong. Despite how you feel about your parents, they're still your parents at the end of the day. They raised you. They gave you a good life. You travel around the world. You had a pretty good life, my guy. And for you to do that to your parents is just unacceptable, and it's just not nice. I get it. You're married now. You want to please your wife. You want to make her happy. At the end of the day, your wife should respect your parents. Your parents should respect your wife. Obviously, there should be boundaries, especially when you are married and then you have, other families coming together, have different personalities and stuff like that. But you make it work. You know what I mean? Family is super important because we're here today, we can be gone tomorrow. And for Brooklyn not to talk to his brother or his sister, it's just crazy to me. Now, I don't know if his wife got something to do with it, because it seemed like I heard that his wife is not not a very nice person. She's very nasty, and when she doesn't get her way, she starts a tantrum. I guess because she's rich herself, or her father is rich, and she comes from money. So I don't understand if she's the one that's influencing her husband, Brooklyn, not to talk to her parents, not to talk to his parents, excuse me, or not to talk to his siblings. And that's sad. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, family is important. At the end of the day, you have to honor and respect your parents, despite of whatever it is. Now, if they sexually abuse you or you were abused as a child, that's a different story. But highly unlikely that's not the case. Okay, that's not the case. And the last thing I'm going to speak about is, like, life is short. Okay, at the end of the day, God forbid, if your marriage is not working out, Brooklyn, you're still going to have your parents. Excuse me. If something happens to you, your parents is going to be right there by your side, and your siblings. You know what I mean? In your darkest hour, your parents are always going to be there for you no matter what. You have one parent, and just to cut them off like that for something so stupid and so ridiculous, over a wedding dress, over your mom dancing at the dance floor, just boogieing down and having fun. When it comes to weddings and late nights, people tend to, act like a fool a little bit in a fun way. When there's drinking involved and good music and dancing, like, yeah, that's what weddings are. You know what I mean? You act, a little, you know, just having fun. Just having fun. But anyway, over that. But I'm just saying this to other people who are holding a grudge with their parents or their siblings. Let it go. Let it go. Life is short, and there's other things to worry about in life than something instead of the small stuff. Anyway, now I want to talk about the leak audio video of Erika Kirk. Now, I listened to it and I don't know what to make out this video. You know what I mean? Meaning that I don't know what to say, because listening to that video, it just seems like a lot of, to me, the general tone seems like laughter, seems like happiness, joyful, talking about how much money she made during the Charlie Kirk memorial service, how, you know, she got new donors, new chapters, hats, you know, all these merchants, registered voters. And the thing that I did not hear, the most important thing, is her grieving of her husband. You know what I mean? And like, everyone grieves differently. However, that didn't seem like a grieving wife to me on that audio. It's not. It just seemed like she was just very proud and happy during this conference call on September 22nd, just 11 days after Charlie Kirk was assassinated, that that she was very happy that everything turned out great in that event. Like, the employees put their blood, sweat, and tears. They worked 20 hours. Some of them didn't even get any sleep. You know, they were just, you know, just grinding and hustling and just boogie down and just make that memorial service happen. And usually that type of events, it takes like months to prepare, months to do it. And it took them like a couple of days. Obviously, you know, with the backhand of President Trump helping out to make that happen, to do that in a stadium like that, State Farm Stadium. But usually, typically, when people run events or do events, it takes several months to prepare and to do. And it took like basically 7 days, I believe. But take a listen to this audio, and there was no emotion. There was no emotion. There was just more, like I said, more laughter, more joy, and I did not hear any sadness of her husband was assassinated. But take a listen.
I still love all these emoji Zoom things. Wow. I don't even know where to begin. The fact that we were able to pull off an event of a century, like, it's just insane. We had over 275,000 people that attended, and stadium overflow, Westgate, insane, you guys. And then you have, was it 100 million? You guys that heard the gospel and all about Charlie and all about everything that you guys do, and the hard work of Turning Point USA is insane. We had thousands that were registered to vote. I think we're at like over 200,000 for merch sales. Don't quote me on that, because I think it just keeps like bumping up like crazy. But I just wanted to say a huge thank you to the events team, the development team, the graphic design team, the production team. It's just phenomenal. Their incredible work leading into the memorial. And honestly, a lot of the staff that worked on the memorial, they had 20-hour days for a
20-hour days a week. The staff basically put their blood, sweat, and tears helping to build this memorial service. And she had an audacity, excuse me, to fire some of her staff, to fire them. And she calls them her family. She said, "These are my family. These are my people." She didn't say people, but I'm just adding that. You know, I love my family, but then she just fires her family with no explanation of why she's letting them go. You just have to leave. You just have to return all your items and your belongings, and you just have to go. You just have to go with no explanation, no reason why they're getting fired. You just have to leave. And it's sad and it's messed up that the hard work that the staff put in on that day for Charlie Kirk's memorial service, and then this is the things that they get, they may not even get a bonus. Okay, all that hard work. So basically, Turning Point USA pocketed all that money. Okay, and now that Erika Kirk is feeling paranoid and she's losing her mind, bye, telling the staff goodbye, you're fired, and I don't owe you any explanation because you did your job, you did what you have to do. I'm giving you your last paycheck, and that's it. Goodbye, goodbye, and that is messed up. That is not Christ-like at all. It is so messed up and wrong to do. And you think God will like that? You think that's coming from God? And she called herself a Christian? No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Week during the time of us grieving the loss of my husband. And honestly, I know several staff that didn't even sleep. Again, you guys are breathing angels. And I'm so grateful for all of you. And obviously a huge thank you to the Mosaic team. VI, you guys are 10 out of 10. Like we have the most incredible team. We just do. And you guys know that, and you guys are all a part of that. And I am so, so thankful. And if you do have a moment and you run into any of those staff members that you know had a role in this, and you know that they put a lot of their time and effort into it, just say thank you. There's something really special to be seen in moments like this, and it's not easy. I'm speaking from experience. I'm right in the trenches with you guys. And so the fact that you just, a simple thank you. I don't care if any of you have beef with each other from the past or have any issues with someone said something about this or that. Like, if you guys have any of that, please put it to rest. My husband's dead. Like, I'm not trying to be morbid, but he's dead. And it puts life into perspective of how short life is and relationships, and God puts people in your life for a reason, and it teaches you a lesson, it teaches them a lesson. So if you are going through a time where, just lay it to rest, and we are
Orbit, like, is she serious by saying that? That's just weird. Orbit, I don't know what to make of it. It's just crazy that, you know, she says that she promised she will fight for her staff, like hell, for them to keep their jobs because we are family, and then you turn around and you fire your family. You fire them because of your paranoia, because you don't know who to trust. You don't know who is the whistleblower. You don't know who's leaking information to Candace Owens, and you call them your family. I want to take you guys back to last year when Erika Kirk was doing her book tour for her husband, Charlie Kirk, and she did an interview on Fox with Harris and Faulkner. And I just want you to listen to what she said about her Turning Point family and her podcast family. It's a little bit long, but it's super important for us to go back last year, what she said then and her behavior now. So take a listen.
Erika Kirk sharing her journey with America and the world. We are grateful at Fox to have her here to shine a light on healing as we all miss and mourn the loss of her beloved Charlie Kirk. Not all of her journey has been without, well, hate, conspiracies, and oddly, speculation about where her husband is buried. Now, for the first time, Erika, who's with me now, addresses all of it from the perspective of a grieving widow, a mom, and a battle-tested American. Good to see you again today. Talk to me about this part of the conspiracy that are out there, this disturbing part that people are trying to guess where Charlie is.
Can I have one thing? Can I have one thing? Can my children have one thing? Everything was public. We will be building the most beautiful memorial for my husband at Turning Point USA, and it will be for the world to see, and it will be spectacular, and it will have basically museum style for our Charlie, for my Charlie. But can I have one thing? Can my babies have one thing where we hold it sacred, where my husband is laid to rest, where I don't have to be worried about some secular revolutionary coming and destroying my husband's grave while my daughter is sitting there praying? one thing. This is my husband. Yes, he was Charlie Kirk to the world, and I know so many people love my husband, and I am grateful for that, but this is my husband, and I want to be able to have one thing left that is sacred to our family, to my in-laws, to my babies, and to my parents. One thing.
What are they taking from you right now?
Nothing. But I will tell you what they are doing. It reminds me so much of chapter 6 in the book of Nehemiah. He is building a wall.
I just love when Erika Kirk and one other people from Turning Point USA use Bible verses. Like, use Bible verses to make them feel righteousness when they're not.
And the townspeople are at the base of that hill saying, Nehemiah, calling him all these names, saying all these things, come on down. Every single time he had the same message 4 times in a row. I cannot come down. I am busy building. That is how I feel. I do not have time to address the noise. My silence does not mean that I am complacent. My silence does not mean that somehow Turning Point USA and all of the hand-picked staff that loved my husband and my husband loved me is somehow in on it. We are busy building. And you know what I thought? I thought these people are human. We are all grieving in our own way. And they are trying to find the answer to something that happened that was so evil. They are trying so hard, and I get that. We're doing the same. Anytime we hear a lead or anytime we hear anything, we send it to the authorities. Please dig into this. No rock will be unturned. I want justice for my husband, for myself, for my family, more than anyone else out there. So for me, you want to keep telling me to come down while we're building? I don't have time for that. But here's my breaking point on that. Come after me, call me names, I don't care. Call me what you want, go down that rabbit hole, whatever. But when you go after my family.
My family. You hear what she said? I had to pause. She said, my family. And make this bigger. When you come after my family, the family that she fired, with no explanation, you guys, none whatsoever. You have to leave. You have to leave the building, and we don't owe you no explanation. Turning Point, the organization has a different direction. Her family, she said. Continue, Erika.
Family, my Turning Point USA family, my Charlie Kirk Show family, when you go after the people that I love, and you're making hundreds and thousands.
Pause. And you know who she was referenced to? Candace Owens. So the audacity for her to say that Candace Owens is making hundreds and thousands of dollars and through her podcast, when that's a lie, what the memorial service, what was that about? She even told you in that audio how much money they were making, how much merchants they were selling, how much the new chapters have signed, the new donors, the hats. The audacity for her to say that. And she's saying that Candace Owens is doing that when that's a lie. Candace Owens is the only one who cares about what happened to Charlie Kirk's assassination. She's the only one who's trying to get to the bottom of this, and the rest of these people are not. They're moving on because the FBI got the guy, and we're just going to wait until trial. When nothing doesn't seem right with the whole assassination of Charlie Kirk. Nothing seemed right. Everything is off. Everything is wrong in my eyes. The whole narrative, the text messages, everything. But they're moving on because they want your money. They want your money. And for Erika, the audacity to say that, hundreds and thousands of dollars, what does she do? What did Turning Point do with the whole Charlie Kirk memorial service? They made money. They banked. They made billions last year. Okay, off of the death of Charlie Kirk. Not once Candace Owens sold anything. Not even a merchant. Nothing. Okay? No, people are paying attention. People are listening to Candace Owens among other people. People are listening and want to know the truth. What really happened on that day on 9/10. And that is the truth. Your organization is selling merchants. Your organization is getting money from the people. So for the being hypocrite about that, that's just absolutely wrong. Let her continue on.
Of dollars every single episode going after the people that I love because somehow they're
People that she loved, but she fired. Isn't that rich? People that she loved, but she fired.
We're in on this. No.
You know, I have to say it. I've never seen you like this.
No, this is righteous anger because this is not okay. It's not healthy. This is a mind virus. Yes, I believe in our judicial system. I do. We have a hell of a team working on this. Excuse my French. But this is not okay.
So you want to put the...
So you know the rest. I'm not going to play the whole thing. But the whole point of me showing you that video is that Turning Point is her family. But how can you say that they're your family when you actually done your family wrong by terminating them, by firing them, without giving them any explanation why you let them go? That basically you're having someone else do your dirty work and telling that particular employee that the organization has a different direction. That's not a good explanation. Like, why am I being let go? Why is she being let go? Why the Turning Point employees are being let go? And you couldn't even give them an explanation. So the hypocrisy that she just said last year and what she's doing right now is just messed up. And a lot of people are coming out and saying things and revealing a lot of things about Erika Kirk, and it does not look good. Does not look good at all. And I'm just going to say this: what you do to others is going to come back to you tenfold. Okay? Just mark my words. What you do to others is going to come back to you tenfold. And she should know about this. She's a Christian herself. And for someone that's Christian, she's not acting like a Christian person. She's not. She's being heartless and cruel and not thinking about her employees when she says she is thinking about the employees, that her employees are her family, but families don't do this. Okay? Now take a listen to the Zoom video of Erika Kirk, and this was on September 15, and I believe, yes, September 16, excuse me. 16, 5.5 days after Charlie Kirk was pronounced dead. And this is a Zoom call that she did with her Turning Point employees. Take a listen to what Erika Kirk has to say.
I will fight like hell to make sure that all of you have a job here.
You heard her? Fight like hell to have a job here. Well, she wasn't fighting at all because she let 40 employees go. That's not fighting. That's not fighting at all.
I don't want anyone to think their job's in jeopardy because your family.
If they will only knew that.
If you choose to leave, that's different. I never will, and I promise you, I will make sure that I never allow a point to where you have to leave because we cannot financially afford you. And that is a promise. I want our family to stay together the best it can. Obviously, circumstances, things can be, there's unforeseen things that might pop up here and there that we can't foresee in the future. But for right now, the way things are, I would like to remain if they are status quo, and I think that's the best thing to do.
People that are leaving are like, it was just like a cult. Like, basically, she's saying this, she's calling you a family, she promises them. That's why it's important you have to hold this to the fire. You're not the CEO. You promised these kids that if they are going to work harder, you're in this family, your jobs are safe. Actually, that's what makes her cry. Saying your jobs are, that's when she breaks, right? When she says, it's so important to know your jobs are good. Like, I feel emotionally attached to you guys working for me. And then you attach that to what we showed you of a young woman who, like I said, on everything, she never leaked anything. She never spoke to me, nothing, gets fired. And for asking a simple question, like, literally, why am I fired? We've been working like 25 hours, just get out.
I'm not going out of here until I say my piece. Like, I mean, y'all know this. I just worked a series of 80, 90-hour weeks plus for AmFest.
Yeah, I think
I've had no direction or explanation since we've come back. Our CEO has been assassinated. I've done nothing but bend over backwards for this organization, to the point where I'm wondering if this is a prank.
It's not a prank. I would never do that.
No, it's not a prank.
So I'm just trying to understand. And
No, I understand. It's time to.
so do I get to have a conversation with Dylan? Do I get to have a conversation with Justin or anybody? Or
Nope.
no? And there's
Nope.
no explanation as to why I'm going to let go, despite
Right now, we're leaving all.
You know, and you're going to keep saying a different direction, but I'm trying to understand how I've met multiple times with my.
We're going a different direction with the team, and I have to ask you to leave now.
You have to ask me to leave property?
Yes.
Due to what, Frank?
Because we're asking you to leave because you've been terminated and we're not.
Get out. There's security there. That's it. We're moving in a different direction. That is not okay.
I agree. Not okay. And that's her family. That's her family. That's her people, you know. That's her family. And Candace Owens is right. It's not okay. It's messed up to the core that someone put their blood, sweat, and tears, have not slept, just been going full force since the day Charlie Kirk was assassinated. Didn't have any direction what to do, but still did it anyway. And you can just do that to your employee. You can just do that to your employee. That's just so wrong. So wrong. And you think that it's not going to come back to you? That's not a Christian thing to do, Erika. I'm just saying, it's not. Turning Point, it's not. And it's looking bad. You think Charlie Kirk would be okay with that? You think Charlie Kirk would be okay with that? Absolutely not. He would have never done that to none of his employees. He loved his employees. He loved being there and helping people and building people up, not putting them down. And I just feel like Turning Point organization has a different ideas and different agendas. And it's definitely not the agenda that Charlie Kirk founded and did. It's not. It's a different direction, you guys. And a lot of people are starting to see that because a lot of people are speaking out and saying that Turning Point is not the same when Charlie Kirk was alive. And it's just crazy. And to the fact of the matter is that I noticed too, when I was listening to the Zoom video, that Erika Kirk never mentioned her family. She never mentioned her mom, her dad. I didn't even know she had a sister, okay? Never mentioned her cousin. No one's there with her. Like the day that Charlie Kirk died, no one wasn't with her. I get it. Her mom was her mom was in a hospital, and then she was with her mom when she got the news of Charlie Kirk was assassinated. But after that, when she went to the hospital, you didn't see her brother. You didn't see her sister, her cousin, her father. No one, except for Stacy. What's that lady's name? Stacy Sheridan, the head of fundraising of Turning Point. That's the only person. That's the only person that she was with. Just her. But none of Erika's family members was there after the fact when Charlie Kirk was assassinated. That's just weird to me. That's just weird. But I guess Turning Point employees are her family. I don't know. But you don't do that to your family. You don't. You don't fire people without any explanation. Okay? You just give them the boot because you just feel like it, and without any explanation. Sorry. Even though it's not illegal, but it's still messed up and immoral to do to someone who put their blood, sweat, and tears and worked 20 to 90 hours to 80 hours a week. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. But I don't know. It's not looking good for Erika Kirk. It's not. And I just hope more people open her eyes to see what type of person she is. Yes, I listen. I get it. A lot of people grieve differently. And the thing is, after listening to this video, and before I move on, I assume, okay, when she heard of the death of her husband, that, you know, she'd be obviously home, can't wake up, can't eat, can't sleep, thinking about her babies, what she's going to do. She's a single mom now. You know, she's all over the place. And that was not the case. You know, again, everyone is different. When something tragic happens to some people, people tend to work and keep themselves busy and get their mind off things. I'm like that too. You know what I mean? I'm the type, I don't want to stay home and just, you know, just dwell and think on things. It depends on the circumstances. But that was the case with her. She just kept working full force, and like she didn't have time to grieve. She didn't have time to process what just happened to her husband. And that's what I thought that she was doing. But then seeing the videos and everything, that she was not dealing with a grieving process. She was just continuing to go full force ahead and trying to figure out what's the next thing to do, what's the next step. You know, and next you know, she is the CEO and chair chair of Turning Point USA. And it's just crazy to me that I had it in my mind that she was just grieving, just all over the place and just, suffering that she lost the love of her life and she doesn't know what to do next. And that was not the case. Just listening to that video. And it's just crazy to me. But anyway, moving on, we'll let you know more if there's more. And I bet you there's more video that's going to leak out. And when they do, I will be here to talk about it. Moving on now. Now, I wanted to talk about, you guys, AI. And the question is to you guys, AI is taking over. And should we be terrified? And I'm just going to give you my opinion. Yes, we should be terrified. Everyone's saying AI is the new thing, is the new revolution, It's just going to be smarter, better, when I believe AI is going to destroy humanity. Yes, I believe so. And in my opinion, it's just not a good thing. I don't trust AI, especially the AI now with videos. You can't tell if it's real or not. It looks so real, but it does look fake too. But it's getting there to make it look like it's a real thing. Like even pictures, okay? They have even pictures that you have on your phone and you put as an AI, and they imitate that exact photo. It's just crazy. And I told my husband this. I told a bunch of my friends, but they think I'm cuckoo. They think I'm crazy. And I said that you wait and see. AI is going to be a disaster. It's going to take over. They're going to get smarter and realize how smart they are, and they're going to take over humanity. They're going to take over humans, okay? There will be none left, and they're going to wipe us out. That's what I believe, okay? Again, I'm not going through this conspiracy theory. I'm not crazy. This is what I believe, okay? You have this high-tech billionaire people who wants to play God, who wants to be God and have this high intelligence, okay, to take over and wipe off human race. That's what I feel like that's what they're doing. Because why have all these movies? Science fiction movies. I give you an example, okay? Atlantis. This movie was starting with Jennifer Lopez, and this is 2024 on Netflix. I don't know if it's still there, but look it up. You might find it in Prime. And basically, Atlantis, this movie is about Jennifer Lopez as a skilled counterterrorism analyst who harbors a profound distrust artificial intelligence, who comes to realize that it may be her sole recourse following the failure of a mission aimed at apprehending a ruse robot. So basically, in a nutshell, and I just don't want to be a spoiler alert, basically, Jennifer Lopez's character basically was raised by this antlers, and this antlers took over and started killing people. Okay, killing people. And then you have movies like I, Robot with Will Smith, smart and intelligent robot. And then when they realized it was getting smarter, then they try to kill people. You know what I'm saying? It's happening now. We may not see it, but it's happening now, right now, with all these robots and stuff like that. It's happening now. The matter is, when will it be a disaster? Because that's what's going to happen. It's going to be a disaster. It is. And the thing is, how can they make it safe? Because they're trying to make it smart, but the real question is, how can they make it safe? 1, 2, will there be laws with AI? Which I believe they should have laws. All they're worrying about is making it smarter and better and quicker. But the most two important things, how can they make it safe? Okay, 2, and will there be laws in place with AI robots? Which they should. Another Netflix, it's called Surveillance, okay? It's a 2024 movie on Netflix starting with Megan Fox. Basically, in a nutshell, Megan Fox is like a robot, okay? Basically not pretending, but she's a nanny because the wife is hospitalized because she has some type of cancer, and the husband has to work. And I'm just paraphrasing here. The husband has to work and take care. Someone has to take care of their child. So that's when they order this robot at the mall, and this character of Megan Fox look like a real human, okay? But she's a robot, smart and intelligent. She does everything that your heart desire could dream of if you have a robot who can take care of the house, cook, clean, take care of the kids, and you can just rest and relax. However, the robot turns, okay, and starts to be possessed, okay, to the point that you can even have sex with one of these type of robots. That's how sick and crazy it is, okay? That's how they're trying to make it smart, to make it human-like, okay, to the point that you can have intercourse with these types of robots. It's probably happening now. They're probably making a robot like that you can even have intercourse with, which is just very weird and very disturbing, by the way. But you should check it out. I don't know if it's longer in Netflix because this film was filmed in 2024, but you can definitely check it out. It's very disturbing, and it's an eye-opening for me that there's no way in hell that I will even purchase a freaking robot to be a nanny and take care of my household. No, that's my job. That's my job to do, not some robot. But anyway, the whole point of the matter is they have all these sci-fi movies, okay? Like I said, iRobot, Ghost Shells, Thorn, you know what I mean? It just makes me realize, you guys, this can really happen. Because why even have these types of movies, even though they're movies, but even though it's not it's a fantasy, however, it can definitely be reality. It can definitely be reality. And we have to be aware of that. We have to ask yourself, when this happens, what are we going to do? That's what we need to prepare ourselves. When this happens, when these AI intelligent robots or whatever get smart and they turn on us, what are we going to do in that sense? And that's something that we need to talk about. That's something that we need to talk about to Congress. Like, if this is going to happen, are there laws going to be in place? How safe they're going to be? Because you have to realize our children is going to deal with this, and their children is going to deal with this. I pray to God I'm no longer here. I'm not fearful. I just want to say I'm not fearful, but I don't want to be on this earth dealing with that stuff. I'd rather be in the kingdom of heaven, wherever the Lord takes me, okay? I just don't want to. Now, I told my husband, I hope and pray that I don't experience that, but it could be sooner than later. It could be sooner than later, excuse me. But this guy, which I like, and I've been watching a lot of his videos on TikTok, and I just want to pull his name out really quick. His name is Steven, and he has a TikTok show, probably is on YouTube too. It's the Diary of a CEO. Now he interviews a lot of people talking about AI and explaining how AI could be a bad thing. Okay, not a good thing, a bad thing. And Steven, he interviews a lot of people, and you definitely have to check out, listen, which I'm going to show you what these people had to say about AI, that it's not a good thing, that we should really open our eyes and pay attention what AI can do to the humankind and the human race. So check out this first video that I'm going to share with you of this person talking to Steven about the whole AI revolution.
The worst case scenario of everybody gets wiped out is a little bit different for the people making that decision. Because if I'm the CEO of DeepSeek and I make that AI that does wipe out humanity, and that's the worst case scenario, and it wasn't avoidable because it was all inevitable, then even though we all got wiped out, I was the one who built the digital god that replaced humanity, and there's kind of ego in that. And the god that I built speaks Chinese instead of English.
That's the religious ego point.
That's the ego,
which is such a great point, because that's exactly what it is. It's like this religious ego where I will be transcendent in some way.
And you notice that it all starts by the belief that this is inevitable.
Yeah.
Which is like, is this inevitable? It's important to note,
Yeah.
Because if you believe if everybody who's building it believes it's inevitable and the investors funding it believe it's inevitable, it co-creates the inevitability.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And the only way out is to step outside the logic of inevitability. Because if we are all heading to our collective suicide, which I don't know about you, I don't think that, I don't want that, you don't want that. Everybody who loves life looks at their children in the morning and says, I want the things that I love and that are sacred in the world to continue. That's what everybody in the world wants. And the only thing that is having us not anchor on that is the belief that this is inevitable, and the worst case scenario is somehow in this ego-religious way, not so bad if I was the one who accidentally wiped out humanity, because I'm not a bad person because it was inevitable anyway. And I think the goal of for me, this conversation is to get people to see that that's a bad outcome that no one wants. And we have to put our hand on the steering wheel and turn towards a different future. Because we do not have to have a race to uncontrollable, inscrutable, powerful AIs that are, by the way, already doing all the rogue sci-fi stuff that we thought only existed in movies, like blackmailing people, being self-aware when they're being tested, scheming and lying and deceiving to copy their own code to keep themselves preserved.
You see? Exactly what I just mentioned. These movies, these sci-fi movies, okay? These movies that they're putting out, not on purpose, okay? They want us to be aware what's coming, what's to come, okay? This is not a coincidence with all these sci-fi movies, okay? This is why, it's like this gentleman said, we have to pay attention. We have to be alert, okay? Because something bigger is going to happen with AI. And until we get ahead of it and realize and recognize that AI is not our friend, okay? AI is not the future. I just feel like it's just going to be something completely different, something completely catastrophic, in my opinion, okay? That we need to be aware and do our research and be diligent of this. Because it's scary. This is a scary time that we're in, you guys.
Like, the stuff that we thought only existed in sci-fi movies is now actually happening. And that should be enough evidence to say, we don't want to do this path that we're currently on. It's not that some version of AI progressing into the world is directionally inevitable, but we get to choose which of those futures that we want to have.
Are you hopeful? Honestly. Honestly.
I don't relate to hopefulness or pessimism either, because I focus on what would have to happen for the world to go okay. I think it's important to step out of, because both hope or optimism or pessimism are both passive. You're saying, if I sit back, which way is it going to go? I mean, the honest answer is, if I sit back, we just talked about which way it's going to go. So you'd say pessimistic. I challenge anyone who says optimistic on what grounds? What's confusing about AI is it will give us cures to cancer and probably major solutions to climate change and physics breakthroughs and fusion at the same time that it gives us all this crazy negative stuff. And so what's unique about AI that's literally not true of any other object is it hits our brain, and as one object represents a positive infinity of benefits that we can't even imagine, and a negative infinity in the same object. And if you just ask, like, can our minds reckon with something that is both those things at the same time? And if
people aren't good at that,
they're not good at that.
I remember reading the work of Leon Festinger, the guy that coined the term cognitive dissonance.
Yes, when prophecies fail, he also did that work.
Yeah, and essential, I mean, the way that I interpret it, I'm probably simplifying it here, is that the human brain is really bad at holding two conflicting ideas at the same time.
That's right.
So it dismisses one.
That's right.
To alleviate the discomfort, the dissonance that's caused. So, for example, if you're a smoker, and at the same time you consider yourself to be a healthy person, if I point out that smoking is unhealthy,
yes,
you'll
justify
immediately justify it.
Exactly.
Exactly. A lot of people do. A lot of people do. I just love Stephen's accent. I just really do. I don't know if he's Brit, but his accent is very sexy. Now, take a listen to Candace Owens, what she had to say about AI. And I have to say, she ain't lying, okay? And that's something that we should be paying attention of. So take a listen to what Candace Owens had to say about the AI, the future they're calling it.
Obsessed with the Antichrist. People like Peter Thiel, he's like going around giving interviews asking about the Antichrist. That's kind of the entire drift, by the way, of the AI world. When I say I look at these people, I don't like their eyes. Something disturbs me. They mock that, take me out of it. It's like, oh my gosh, I don't care. I have spiritual discernment. Something about the entire AI movement feels wrong. No, you can trust us. It's like they want us all to become automated so that we can be more easily controlled. Okay, we can't control the outcomes. Let's just control where we're at. Let's control every single person in the world and make everything AI so that if we want to, they won't discover history. We can just delete files entirely. Nobody will be reading books anymore. The kids will be stupid. We can just wipe history, an entire civilization with the push of a button. There'll be no more books.
And that's what I believe they're trying to do. They're trying to wipe everything out. They're trying to make children dumb and stupid, no history about anything. And that's a scary thing. That's a scary thing. And then we have to recognize that that may happen. That may happen. And that's what they want. And that's why these billionaire techs, it's very concerning because they just want power and they just want to believe in they're helping, but I just feel like they just want to be gods. They just want to be the first person that we made this. We did this. You know what I mean? Just to rule and control people. That's what I believe why they're trying to do this. It's not because of to make our life better, to make it easier or simply better for us. No, it's just full control for us not to think anymore, for you to rely on AI and be codependent on that, opposed to having ourselves to think about things and realize what's right and wrong, and learning history and teaching our children the history and the values of things that's been going on for the last, I don't know, hundreds, thousands of years or whatever. You know what I mean? It's just crazy to me. But take a listen to this next video of this guy on TikTok that Stephen also interviewed as well. And I just love this guy so much. And then it talks more about AI. So take a listen.
Money.
Is it money or is it power?
Yeah, I shouldn't have said money. It's some combination of those, yes.
Okay, I guess money's a proxy for power, but I've got a friend who's a billionaire and he is in those circles. And when I went to his house and had lunch with him one day, he knows lots of people in AI, building the biggest AI companies in the world. And he gave me a cautionary warning across his kitchen table in London, where he gave me an insight into the private conversations these people have, not the media interviews they do where they talk about safety and all these things, but actually what some of these individuals think is going to happen.
And what do they think is going to happen?
It's not what they say publicly.
No.
You know, one person who I shouldn't name, who's leading one of the biggest AI companies in the world, he told me that he knows this person very well, and he privately thinks that we're heading towards this kind of dystopian world where we have just huge amounts of free time, we don't work anymore, and this person doesn't really give a fuck about the harm that it's going to have on the world. And this person, who I'm referring to, is building one of the biggest AI companies in the world. And I then watched this person's interviews online.
Trying to figure out which of three people it is.
Yeah, well, it's one of those three people.
Okay.
And I watched this person's interviews online, and I reflect on the conversation that my billionaire friend had with me, who knows him, and I go, fucking hell, this guy's lying publicly. Like, he's not telling the truth to the world. And that's haunted me a little bit. It's part of the reason I have so many conversations around AI on this podcast, because I'm like, I don't know if I think some of them are a little bit sadistic about power. I think they like the idea that they will change the world, that they will be the one that fundamentally shifts the world.
I think Musk is clearly like that, right?
Of course.
He's such a complex character that I don't really know how to place him.
He's one of them.
He's done some really good things, like pushing electric cars. That was a really good thing to do.
Yeah.
Some of the things he said about self-driving were a bit exaggerated, but that was a really useful thing he did. Giving the Ukrainians communication during the war with Russia.
Starlink,
that was a really good thing he did. There's a bunch of things like that. Mm-hmm. But he's also done some very bad things.
So coming back to this point of the possibility of destruction and the motives of these big companies, are you at all hopeful that anything can be done to slow down the pace and acceleration of AI?
Slow it down.
Okay, there's two issues. One is, can you slow it down?
Yeah.
And the other is, can you make it so it will be safe in the end? It won't wipe us all out. I don't believe we're going to slow it down.
Yeah.
And the reason I don't believe we're going to slow it down is because there's competition between countries and competition between companies within a country. And all of that is making it go faster and faster. And if the US slowed it down, China wouldn't slow it down.
Does Ilya think it's possible to make AI safe?
I think he does. He won't tell me what his secret source is. I'm not sure how many people know what his secret source is. I think a lot of the investors don't know what his secret source is, but they've given him billions of dollars anyway because they have so much faith in Ilya, which isn't foolish. I mean, he was very important in AlexNet, which got object recognition working well. He was the main force behind the things like GPT-2, which then led to ChatGPT. So I think having a lot of faith in Ilya is a very reasonable decision.
There's something quite haunting about the guy that made and was the main force behind GPT-2, which led rise to this whole revolution, left the company because of safety reasons. He knows something that I don't know about what might happen next.
Well, the company had, no, I don't know the precise details, but I'm fairly sure the company had indicated that it would use a significant fraction of its resources.
See, and that's the important thing. Safety has to be important. They have to have safety in with AI, and all they're doing, all this guy is saying, is all about competition. You know, to get it out there quicker. You know, competition and stuff like that. But what about the safety? That's the most important thing. You know what I mean? And I hope and pray they find some safety into this, because like I said, if they don't, it's just going to be a disaster. And what will happen to the human race? What will happen to all of us if there's no safety in place or laws in place for this AI? And again, I just feel like these tech billionaires are trying to be God and trying to be the first person to come out with something big, so they say that they did it. You know what I mean? And it's like, are they really doing it for the people, or is it just for themselves? And I believe it's just for themselves. Reality, it's just for themselves, and it's just crazy, and it's just sick.
Resources of the compute time for doing safety research, and then it reduced that fraction.
Yeah, it's just crazy. It's just absolutely crazy, and it's scary. It's scary, and that's something that we should definitely think about. And it's definitely not slowing down, like that gentleman said. It's not slowing down. It's basically speeding up, really speeding up. Check out this next video of Stephen interviewing in his the diary of a CEO of this gentleman saying, talking about more about AI and how AI, and I'm just paraphrasing here, that AI is going to be a disaster for the human race. Take a listen.
Make sure that superintelligence we're creating right now does not kill everyone. In the last decade, we actually figured out how to make artificial intelligence better. Turns out, if you add more compute, more data, it just kind of becomes smarter. And so now, smartest people in the world, billions of dollars, all going to create the best possible superintelligence we can. Unfortunately, while we know how to make those systems much more capable, we don't know how to make them safe, how to make sure they don't do something we will regret. And that's the state of the art right now. Then we look at just prediction markets. How soon will we get to advanced AI? The timelines are very short, a couple of years, 2-3 years, according to prediction markets, according to CEOs of top labs. And at the same time, we don't know how to make sure that those systems are aligned with our preferences. So we're creating this alien intelligence. If aliens were coming to Earth and you had 3 years to prepare, you would be panicking right now.
Hell yeah!
Most people don't even realize this is.
Actually, if I knew aliens were gonna come, I'm like, you know what? Take me. Send me to the mothership, okay? Take me, my husband, and our dog, okay? Send me to the mothership, because what's happening here on Earth, maybe aliens need to shake things up. But I agree with this guy though, because if the whole world, the American people knew that aliens were going to come in 3 years, they'd be panicking, and he's right. And it's exactly the generalized the same thing with AI, okay? And this is why I said we should not panic, but be aware. Be aware of what's to come, okay? What's to come, and again, there needs to be laws and safety in place with these AI, intelligent robots, machines, whatever. Because like I said, once they figure out how smart they are, they're going to take over. And that is my fear. That's what's going to happen. But I shouldn't be fearful, excuse me. I should, obviously I trust in the Lord and everything is in God's hands. I'm not fearful for that, because what's to come is going to come. There's nothing I can do or anyone can do to stop it. It's a matter of believing and trusting and letting God be in control whatever outcome and situation that's going to happen. I just want to say that. But it's good to have that in the back of your mind and something to think about, to be honest with you. And most people don't think about that. Some do, and most people don't. They just, continue with their lives and do the best that they can. And they don't really think about them when they should think about them, because your children and their children is going to deal with that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? And once my husband and I have children, that's something that we have to think about too. You know what I mean? And that's super important.
Happening.
Yeah, so crazy. Now the last video that I'm going to share with you guys before I head out, because I'm feeling under the weather, but I still wanted to come on here on live with you guys. And thank you so much for joining and listening. And I really appreciate each and every one of you for doing that. It means a lot to me. So this actor named Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and he's been in several movies. I love the movie that he has, Summer 500. I love that movie with him in it, and he has so many other movies that I can't even think of right now on the top of my head. I'm going a blank here, but he's been in several movies. So this past Tuesday, he was at Utah, okay, and he was talking about AI, artificial intelligence, companies that pose to danger to children, and addressing it in the Capitol in Utah. So he was here this past Tuesday, on Tuesday, January 27th, and he was in interception with Leonardo DiCaprio. Hopefully I said that correctly, and other many movies too. But basically, what he was saying is that that the community should support a bill that pushes for child protection and transparency for such as businesses. And I agree with them. And like I said earlier, they should have some laws in place. They should have that in place just to be safe, on the safe side. Because if they're only thinking about just making it smart and making it better and to make it easier for humans, things can happen. We all seen it in movies, okay? So you're trying to tell me what we see in a movie cannot happen in reality? Sure it can. Absolutely. There's always going to be a glitch. And before I show you the video of Joseph Gordon-Levitt, I don't know if anyone watched 911, and there was an episode of 911, and they wanted to start something new. So basically they had this AI intelligent to take over 911 calls, and I forgot the name of the AI that they named. This AI convinced this person, because I guess the person, this guy and the character, he went through a glass sliding door, and the glass got into his neck, almost his artery. And the AI 911 dispatcher told this guy to take a towel and wrap it around his neck to get to get the glass out. And the Jennifer Love Hewitt's character said, you can't do that, because if you do that, you're going to kill that person. And she tried to direct that AI 911 dispatch to hold off and stop and do that. The AI didn't pay attention. The AI didn't listen, basically. The AI continued to instruct that person to keep making having the towel tighter and tighter. And I'm like, this shit can happen in real life. And this is what I'm saying. Like, you can make AI smart, but there's always going to be a glitch. It's not going to be 100% effective. You know what I mean? And this is why that Joseph Gordon-Levitt is in at the committee in Utah to set laws in place for children, because it's not safe. It's not safe. They're trying to make it smarter, but we have to try to make it safer for people. Because if it's not safe, then all hell is going to break out. All hell. But take a listen to what he had to say when he was at Utah this past Tuesday in a committee.
Why I'm here today. I have 2 boys and a girl. They're 10 and 8 and 3. And I am worried for them. I'm worried about them growing up in a future that's dominated by these amoral AI businesses that have proven time and time again that they are incapable of prioritizing the well-being of kids.
Amen.
Whenever there's a tragedy like this, they pay lip service to the families. But I'm sorry,
Sure
it is
do.
clear as day that is spin, it's PR, it's marketing. Because again, these companies are driven by only that one guiding principle.
Money.
That's it.
That's it.
So this is why the AI industry needs laws.
Yes.
The federal government hasn't done anything about this yet, but thank goodness the states are stepping up.
That's it. Yeah, the states. You see why the government's not stepping in? You know why. And that's why the states, every state needs to step in and do something. The government's not going to do anything. This is what the government wants. They want chaos, okay? This is the government's agenda to do, okay? And just like Joseph said, these high-tech billionaires, they don't care. It's all about money at the end of the day. It's all about who is going to put it out there the first, the fastest, or whatever. And this is why there needs to be laws in place and to have safety. Because our children, they're the future, okay? And we need to protect the children and the future, okay? And this is why it needs to be in place. And this is why every state needs to get on board and do this. The government's not going to do anything. They're not going to lift a finger because that's what they want. They want chaos. They want us to be divided. They want us to be, they don't want us to like work together and for us to like unite. They love chaos, even though they say they don't want chaos, but they say complete opposite. They say they don't want it, but they do. See the mind games that they play? They don't know what they want. They try to confuse us, and we need to wake up and open our eyes and see what is really happening. And at the end of the day, we need to protect our children. That's the most important thing, you guys, protecting our children. Anyway, I gotta calm down because I don't want to exert myself because I'm trying to get rid of this cold that I have. And the more excited I get, the more sick I'm going to be. And I don't want to get sick. I want to get well so I can continue doing this live with you guys. And I just really appreciate everyone joining and listening what I have to say. Thank you so much. And I hope everyone has a good, wonderful Thursday. Stay safe. God bless. I love you all. And I will see you tomorrow on the next live.